Welcome back everybody to part 3 of building a ship in Minecraft. Of course, we are kicking things off here in Bluebird's Bay, looking at our beautiful ship, and we've got a lot of stuff that I really need to get done today. Well, ender pearls work fantastically. For starters, what we need to do is we need to finish off what we got started with in the last episode, but we have ran into a few little problems. In fact, it's not very easy to see this from this angle, but this over here is the first sail. If I go into it a little bit closer, it's not a very large one, but I'm wondering if maybe when we put in the others, whether or not it won't look too weird. I think we might just need to push those off to the sides. The other thing is, we do not have our rope fences that we had. We were putting them on at the end of the last episode. I took them off. They just looked silly. I got all of them in and I was thinking to myself, you know, that just doesn't look right. All right, the sails are now in and they do certainly look a lot better when they're all in together. The other thing is the ropes, they just not working for us. They are a complete loss. Now the big other thing, this is the coolest thing, is I've gone ahead and I've started putting in the layers of the actual deck of this thing. So for instance, here where you're gonna have the, I think, steering wheel of the ship. How cool is that? I mean, obviously not like that, but it's a plan. We'll have that over there. You go down one more level into the captain's quarters over here. Very cool. And then you go down another level. Obviously the top part of the ship, the main deck, will go up here, just have a little thing here. But then I thought what was really cool is having multiple levels. So you go down into here, we'd still be able to, for instance, do stuff here, store the anchor and things there. Go down another one, have holes for the ships, for the cannons, the ships. Many little ships are going to be flowing out of this. That's what we're going to do. And then also at the bottom here, we do have a full place to put cargo, as well as over there where we could probably, let me just go around that way, because we've actually got stairs going literally all over the ship, which is super cool. When we get them in properly, they're going to look really cool. Yeah, this would be a good place for the crew to stay. I think that's a good idea. And then of course, downstairs. All right, well, here is something rather interesting. I decided, hey, let's give soul sand a go. I was curious how it looked with these things, but look at this. I'm in a boat, and I feel like it's because I'm in the boat that this is causing this problem, but I'm not too sure what's happening here. I've never had that happen before. Super strange, super weird. Let's try hop up over here. Maybe this will. Am I about to crash again? Whoa. What? I have got no idea what's happening. Maybe it's to do with the weird boats flicking around thing that, you know, when you get off a boat, it shoots from like wherever you stopped. That is super strange. Can I pick them up? I can. Can I break that? I can. Very easily. I have never seen that. I do not know if I can ever recreate that, but that is one of the strangest things I have seen in a very long time. I know it's very weird that I was using soul sand, and I do have some method to my madness. So what I am looking for, because there are two things that are currently in my mind about this build. First of all, the brown planks, the dark oak planks, they're a bit much. Second thing is the shape of this. Now, the color of the planks, they're all right, but I want to work in a few different colors. So I'm going to be testing in a creative world just a few different color choices, and then we could go make our mind up from there. The other thing is, over here, the shape, I think we're going to have to do away with these pieces here. And this is all part of the process, by the way, the whole breaking it down from what you've got and eventually just molding it in. I know it seems kind of cheesy, but it really is like a clay sculpture, despite the fact I have never touched a clay sculpture in my life. I get the principles that you put a bit of clay on, break it off. We put a few blocks on, break them off until we get it into the right size and shape and all that. I'm kind of starting to like a big giant hole in the side of this ship. It looks as though it's been blasted out from the inside, but from the outside it just looks like I've got a piece of the ship missing, and I've just realized I've left a block in there. So here is what I have been up to, and let me tell you, a lot. There has been a lot that I've been up to. I want to prepare this thing for the final polishing stage, and the most important part of it is now getting the shape and also the colors properly polished in there. So you can see a little bit of something that we got going on here. I want to do a trim with the spruce wood, and it's going to trim down there, and it's also going to have a trim at the top. So that means we can have one color on the top piece, one in the middle, and one at the bottom. If you're getting where I'm going with that. The other thing is also that I want to get those colors in and do a little bit more shaping, of course, because they have to work together. Now, there has been a lot that has happened. Here is something else. I have gone over to the end and I have been very, very busy making the most ultimate of Smite 5 diamond axes. Look at that. There is actually one thing it is missing before it is the ultimate axe. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, no, I just lost the channeling enchantment. No, that was horrible. I had channeling, I picked up the wrong darn book. Oops. So I guess if it could have channeling, it would have channeling. But yeah, we don't have channeling. Other things happened to that book. That is so sad. I was so proud of that as well. That was gonna be my next big thing I was gonna show you, and you guys were gonna be so excited. Now hold up, I just realized I'm a very big dummy. I went away, finished off that, right? And then I made all these beautiful blocks for us to use. And then I realized I put the right book on there. That was actually my efficiency 4 book to make that efficiency 5. We still have channeling. And here we are back with another time lapse. This one is slightly different to the ones we've been doing recently, where we've been out in nature, building the trees, building the land, all that stuff. Today we're back on structures, and I wanted to take you through how I am using the word polishing of the ship, and I want to show you what I mean by that. Really just taking some of the blocks away, putting some of the other blocks, and then changing colors, getting some good lines going across it, which is what the trim is for, and just getting the boat to really, as I say, be polished. I can't think of any other better way of describing it. Now, a little bit of a thing with this, of course, we go through a few different iterations, and eventually the ship does come out completely different to the way it's meant to be, well, originally. So that is just the way I build. I tend to build something and build it and rebuild it, and maybe there's something to take from that, you know? Just a bit of the consistency and being willing to redo it as many times as needs to be redone is something that I've definitely learned, and this ship is no exception. Now, one thing unrelated to the way I'm building, but what we are building, is the new update and how that could be affecting this ship in a very, very positive way. And that is by the new barrels, all the other little blocks that come with it, the new lamps, I think they're lanterns, I don't actually know what they are, I haven't myself explored it, and I'm very, very excited to do that. The other thing is, which I think is really cool, is the fact that this could now have its own custom colored sign. So the sign is not going to have to be an oak textured sign. It could be a dark oak textured sign or whatever sign we want. So that is another really cool thing which we're going to be adding into this. Now, an update on that is I really want it for the reason of having this ship with all the new materials on it ready to go and all that. Now, I was a bit worried about updating the world because I don't like being that guy that updates in a snapshot, having to roll the world back. It's just not a good time. So instead, I was saying I would wait for 1.14.0. Now, I'm looking at these pre-releases that are out, and 1.14.0 is just around the corner anyway, and I think I will be doing a pre-release update. I think it's well worth it. I am very, very confident that we will be all right, and you know what? I'm willing to take the risk this far into 1.14. I have been so happy with the way this has been turning out. I've gone ahead, dropped in the other side here, and the reason I didn't want to put that part in the time lapse is I really just found it way easier to go inside here and go ahead and copy the things over from side to side from the inside. So it really wasn't too much to look at. So I thought just one half makes sense. Besides, you've seen it all once, you know what's going on the other side there. Now, I want to show you guys what this is looking like, and I have done a few little changes. In fact, that's why the cobblestone is in my offhand right now. I changed over this trim over here. And by the way, just take that in. How good is that looking? Man, I'm loving that. Oh, sun's going down. We'll have to go and catch a bit of rest. But what I was saying is I've changed this trim for a bit of cobblestone just to try and get it to look a bit more smoky, a bit more pirate-like. It didn't quite work, but 1.14, as I say, the update, all those sorts of blocks, there's a whole bunch of blocks I'm just not aware of that now have slabs. So maybe we could see some changes there. Now, there are still some things that we have added that need to be added in again, and they now actually work, weirdly enough. This over here, I kind of felt bad that I didn't remove it all completely before I did the time lapse, but the ropes actually work all of a sudden now that this whole bottom piece is no longer dark oak. And by the way, that non-dark oak look to it is amazing. I am so happy. I didn't realize, you know, when you've been building it for a while, you start to get stuck in everything either looking absolutely horrible to you when it actually looks good, or looking good when it looks absolutely horrible. And I was convinced that I would eventually get it right, but I thought I was closer than I was. Turns out I was miles off, and oh, I forgot my fences. Turns out I was miles off, and thank goodness that I managed to go all the way through, because we would never have seen all these cool shapes and stuff if I didn't decide to just break it down a little bit more than we normally would. We are also running incredibly low on fences. I could have sworn I had a few stacks. I've probably left them on the ship. It seems that every little change we are making here is turning out so well. Look at that. Look how well it's just looking in general. I've got a few little updates on this. First of all, we've got the ropes in. The reason I did not use them on the top rope, and that is probably one of the worst parts about it, but as a whole, it works really well. But if you look at that individually, yeah, don't look at it individually. It's not really working too well. But that over there is, if you ask me, fantastic. And then also look at that little rudder. The little rudder off the end there. It looks so good. Now, I've got a few other things which we need to finish off, and then I want to do the biggest thing that we have done in a long time, and this is going to be huge, and it is the good old 1.14 update. I've got to use it. I've got to see what we can do with these new things that we have. I've been playing around a little bit in a testing world with some of the new 1.14 blocks, and I think they're going to suit this quite well. So first of all, what I need to do up here, by the way, because we have to finish this off before we go, is I want to put in some railings, and all these little odd bits like that, like this sort of stuff, is going to be ironed out as we go. But these little bits here like this, yeah, I know that kind of sucks, but what can we do about it? Just the railings and stuff like this. These little bits are going to be the big game changers. Now, before the sun goes down, we need to have a quick look. Do these railings work? Yes. Yes, they do. They add a little bit of finer details in there. Perfect. Now this has turned into a little adventure in its own right, being inside this ship. It's so cool. I didn't think this was going to be what was going to happen, but as you go through, because of course I've gone ahead, put all the interiors in, as you go through, you're a little bit lost. You've got so many little things around here that you can explore and get lost in. It is exciting. I am very pleased with this. So first of all, here we go. Let's go on a second tour of this, because the first tour was not sufficient. Let me tell you that, because we've gone ahead and improved a lot of things. This is the boring top deck or upper deck or whatever it is. And the reason that has not got anything on it is because we need to put a cool steering wheel on this thing. It needs to look like a ship in some respect. Now there is one problem with that, and that is getting a steering wheel that will actually suffice. Very difficult, but that is for future me to worry about. For now, I'm not going to worry about it. Let's go into the captain's quarters. Welcome. Right in here. Very unfurnished right now, but I've kind of thought about what would a pirate captain have inside these quarters. Not 100% sure. In fact, what he definitely would have would be a window on either side. Like that. So we'll have to work that in. I'll just leave those marks in there for us to go deal with. And then we'll go out, close that up. I need to make this look a little bit nicer. I did like, however, which is probably going to be the weirdest part about this, the fact that it drops down one. I actually did that intentionally when we made this. If you have a look back when I put these decks in, I put this deck and then one down because I felt like walking down into it just felt a bit more cozy. So we'll see how that turns out. Now, of course, carrying on, I want to just show you guys this because this is something I think is really cool, and it's like a Minecraft life hack right here, and that is adding fake support to these little bits and pieces here to support the floor, act as beams on the lower level. So if you look from the bottom, it looks like beams holding this up. From the top, it just breaks up the monotony of the same stuff, and then the floor doesn't look as boring, yet it's a completely empty floor. See, life hack in Minecraft right there. We'll go down here. This is going to be the crew quarters. Whatever we do with it, I don't know, but it's a good little spot where we can look down as well. You can see where the cannons are going to be. We have to work that out as well. And the cargo hold down there, and we'll go around this way as well, because this is back to it. It's just really cozy. I'm sure you guys have probably got completely confused as we're going around here, but we go down there. This will be just a place where obviously the anchor will be, a bit of junk. We'll go down here and bam, we're around again. We're around again. There's just a new floor every time we go down. It is awesome. So that is the adventure. That is the interior of the ship. Now is the big adventure, which we have been waiting for about 1 whole year to do. We're about to update to 1.14, and I am scared and excited at the same time. Scared that I will have to reset the world, well, restore the world. Always back up before you update. That's just a bit of a hint. Just back up all the time. The other thing is that I also am worried that I'm going to just get so lost in all the new blocks, I'm going to go on hibernation and just play in a creative world on so many different ideas, because I have messed around with them. There's so many ideas, but I'm looking very forward to this update. Before we do that though, I've got one thing that I promised myself I would do, and I have not yet done it. That is, I need to update these trees. They are disgusting, they are terrible, and I've said it for a long time, but I just have been putting it off because, well, I've been busy with some other things. You know, so let's go ahead and do that, and then I can finally say, you know what, we're ready to drop Optifine and head over to 1.14. Now, everything may not be looking very different to you, but you gotta believe me, this is now Minecraft 1.14 pre-release number 5. We have finally done it, and all the pressure is now off. It seems like the world exists, which is fantastic. One thing we do have a problem with is the texture pack. It's kind of going a bit weird on these trees, so we're gonna have to leave them there. And of course I didn't finish all the trees. What can I tell you? I went through a few of them and I was like, I'll just do these one at a time. They take forever. They take a while because I've made extra large trees there. But it does seem like everything in 1.14, with all the puns intended, is shipshape. Well, there you have it. My new big addition to this world is finally existing. I can't quite call it complete. We've still got a lot of stuff to do. And of course, there is a lot of stuff to be added in with the brand new update we have just got here. Now, I just want to say thank you everyone for joining me on this 3-episode boat building adventure. I hope you have enjoyed it, because I have thoroughly enjoyed building a boat like this. It's taken so many hours. In fact, you probably will never be able to realize just from 3 episodes of how long it's taken to build it, but it has been so worth it. Adding something like this into the world, I just absolutely love it. And as I say, I hope you guys love it as well, or at least can take something away and maybe have learned something to do with building a structure a bit bigger, or maybe what not to do, who knows. But either way, we've got a big adventure coming along in the very, very near episodes, because what we have got going on is the next village, sort of. You'll see what I mean. It's going to be awesome. It is something similar to the last world that we've got. We're going to be building something with a little bit of love from our previous world, which is where we got the same inspiration for this ship over here. But you're just going to have to wait and see what we've got going on with that. So thank you very much for joining me here, and I will see you very, very soon.